I haven't made this style of video ever on my channel before, so I hope I do all right. If you've never seen me before, my name is Deborah. I've actually never introduced myself in any of my videos before, so this is my first. But on this channel, mostly I post crochet vlogs, so if you like cozy vlogs, I have some. Anyway, this is gonna be about how I quit my job a year ago. So let's get into it. So last April 2023, I quit my job as a commercial loan underwriter. So basically I was working at a bank and my job was to get business loans approved by higher ups. That job was actually my first one in that career because, I mean, without going into my full resume, I jumped around a couple different careers and they were all very, very, very different. So this one, working at a bank, that was a first. I was there for a little over 2 years learning the ropes, but about 1 year into working there, I realized that this wasn't where I belonged. I didn't feel like I was good at my job. That's one of the things that will let you know that you don't belong there. Like no matter how hard you're trying, you're just not good at it, you know? So I started looking for other jobs while I was still there. By the time I actually quit in April, my reason for quitting, get this, it wasn't because I felt, I'm gonna quit corporate and follow my dreams like all those other really brave and inspiring people are doing. I've seen so many on like social media, on YouTube. It wasn't something grand like that. It was grand in a different way. It was that I got married. So I was getting married and I was gonna have to move pretty far away from the job, and that's why I quit. One thing that I did do really well before quitting my job was saving a lot of my money. I had a pretty good chunk of money saved up because I've been really into taking care of like personal finances for a very long time now. I didn't really spend big on anything. I mostly used my money in paying off a bunch of my student loans and putting everything into like different savings accounts. So savings accounts, like retirement accounts, all of those things. And that really helped me. And that's why I was able to not find a job and still be okay. But of course, I do have my husband to thank for that as well, because he's providing for the family as of now until I start making money. So this past year of not having a job, what have I been doing? I've actually been applying to so many jobs. I did not quit at first because I was thinking I'm gonna leave like the 9 to 5 and do my own thing. It wasn't the reason, you know? My reason was I'm just gonna move and start over in a different area. But so far it just hasn't been going that way because I don't know, it's been very hard to get a job. I don't know if it's me, I don't know if it's the job market, because there would be times when they would say the job market is booming, and well, it wasn't for me. It's booming, where's the boom? I don't see it. It was like that for me. Okay, so I did neglect to mention one thing. I have been the most picky about like my next job. It is partially my fault. Maybe it's mostly my fault. It's because I'm the sort of person that doesn't like to start something if I feel like looking into the future, I don't think I'll finish it, or it doesn't feel like I'm gonna be there for too long, then I'd rather not start it. You know, once I would start something, I would always commit to my fullest. and I would never quit. Like, although I just quit recently. But that's how I've always been. And so, especially knowing that I was so miserable in my corporate job, I didn't want to start another one where I knew I would be miserable and just be stuck in it. So fast forward to now, a year later, I'm still looking for jobs here and there. I'm still applying. But in the past year, I have spent a lot of time in my own thoughts. And when you spend a lot of time in your own mind, there's a lot of ups and downs, as I feel like most people can relate to that. And yeah, I had those good days where other people would be telling me like, oh, you should really appreciate this time in your life because you'll never get it back. Like, when are you gonna have a time where you can just rest and do nothing and not work? Until you retire. And that was great, and I was thankful, and I wanted to spend my time productively, and that's why I started this channel. I started crocheting, things like that too. But of course, the downs. The downs were hard. Yeah, I remember having like three, maybe three breakdowns where I would just feel like such a failure, such a loser. Like, I failed in life, like nobody wants to hire me, and just all of those negative bad thoughts. But of course, like, nobody wants to hire me. That wasn't really true because I was the one who was like turning down job opportunities because I was just being very, very picky. So those are my emotional hurdles that I was jumping through this past year. So I've never been a person who had dreams, who had really big passions about anything in my life. And when I would see other people who were very passionate about things, I would see that and be like, they don't know that that's a blessing that they have, because not everyone's like that. Not everyone has a dream. Not everyone has a passion. That's just how I have always been. Even now, I'm still like that. So here's the reason why I decided to record this video in the first place. After a year of just thinking about what do I want to do next, I think I finally settled on what my dream job is. At 31 years old, I have finally found my dream job. I'm not gonna say full-time content creator. I'm not gonna say YouTuber. That's not it. Here is what it is. My dream job is to be a small business owner of an online shop that sells handmade goods. It sounds so wow to say for me. That's what I would love to do. I've always loved making things with my own hands. Like, my other very big hobby is baking. I would bake, and I would always love to share what I made. So I would always like bring it to parties, or like just bring it to a random gathering, and they weren't even expecting baked goods, and I just bring a random thing of baked goods, and they would be like, wow, thank you so much. Hey, random tip here. If you want people to like you, show up with some baked goods every time you show up. When I tell you that whenever I would show up so I used to work at my church, and they would have like minister meetings, and I would randomly just show up just to say hi and stuff, and they're all just like serious and like, oh, hello, welcome. And then I show up with a pie, like a homemade pie, and I show up and they're like, oh, Deborah, welcome, come in, oh, here, let me take that for you. Everyone loved me because every time they would see me, I would be bringing homemade things. I'm telling you, if you want to be liked by everybody, always be showing up with baked goods. Anyway, I love to make things with my hands, and I love to share what I made. And recently, since I've been crocheting so much, I've been seeing how much I actually love making things. I love making things, not just crochet. I want to make punch needle work. I want to make clay work. I want to make so many things, and those things, of course, I'm gonna work on them to get better at it and all of that before I even think about like selling any of that stuff. But what I know is I know I'm good at crochet, and that's where I'm starting. I would really just love to start a business where I sell my handmade crochet things. But then I would love to expand and go into like trinket dish making, like trinket jar making, and like punch needle rug, things like that. I want to make things and sell them. Dream job. And another thing is that since I started making YouTube videos, I've been really enjoying it. So I've always wanted to make vlogs for a very long time, but it took me a very long time to actually start because long form content is very intimidating because you gotta learn to use like editing software, and you gotta learn how to edit better. I'm still learning, of course, and it's hard stuff. You're learning from scratch, right? But I've been really enjoying it after starting. And so my dream job combined with sharing what I'm doing as my dream job in the form of content, I think that is like the best dream job I could think of for myself. Not saying that like I will have no bad days. That's impossible. I'm sure I'll have days where I'm just like so stressed out because like being a small business owner, I'm sure that's very stressful. I've seen many people. Yeah, it's stressful. I get it. I know it. But these are the things that I have made my mind up about. And that's why I wanted to share it with you all. This is the beginning of me preparing to go into my dream job. I might not be great at it in the beginning. I might not be great at it for a long time, but I know I'll learn a lot once I begin. So I'm very excited. I hope you guys can also give me advice because I mean, I don't have any experience being a business owner and there are so many business owners out there. If you have any advice or any tips or anything you could share with me, let me know. I'm open to everything and anything. I wanna hear all the advice, but I'm so excited to hear more about what other people's experiences have been, and I'm so excited to share what my experience is going to be on this channel with you. So yeah, that's a kind of a life update as well. So I hope you come along with me on this journey. Let's see how it goes.